I've been with Town Green now since I was 14, so I think that makes it 12 years that I've played for the club.
Yeah, 18 years ago. So Jim was 6. We started because they couldn't get a match at Captain's Lane, I think, and then the team just progressed from there. So no expectations of how long it was going to go on for. Didn't expect it to go this far.
Only because we were too shit to play in the first team, so we had to break away and make another team. So if I was good at football, it could have been 20 years at a different club, but because I'm shit, 18 years at a, what turned out to be an alright club, to be fair, in the end.
The club to me is all I've ever known in football. I've never really had any other experiences apart from more recently when I played on another day, but Town Green has been the beginning, middle and end of my footballing career. It's been absolutely everything to me.
It's meant more than I expected it to be. You know, finishing was probably the right thing to do, but I think it's meant seeing a lot of people grow up, got close to a lot of people as well, and it's nice to see, I suppose, the kids grow up into men. Some of them have families, a lot of them have got jobs and careers, and yeah, it's meant a lot. It's a lot of hard work though.
Tattooed on my skin for like life, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, footballing wise on a Sunday, when I was a kid, the first football I'd ever played. So yeah, it's a really big part of my footballing life. Yeah, obviously, it's sad to see it come to an end.
Might get pissed on a Sunday either way. When we win, getting a bottle of wine and celebrating on his own that we've won. Or if we've lost, silence on the way home, not speaking to me, then going to the shop, buying a bottle of wine, getting pissed because he's pissed off that we've lost. It means rocking up on a Sunday, not knowing who's pissed, who's sober, not knowing if, because we're pissed, we're going to play better, but like probably just a laugh, to be honest, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, we're a team that don't train, have a tactical retard as our manager, and we just rock up and just hope for the best, you know what I mean? So I suppose good fun's the only real way to put it, really.
My fondest memory of the club has got to be either one of the 2 tours that we did abroad, either in Lloret de Mar or Prague. Specifically, potentially the club that we went to in Prague when Mike saw my little trick.
Any of the finals by a mile, but I don't think you beat a tour, any of the tours. It's mad to see like such a different group of lads like come together on a tour and just gel like that, really.
My fondest memory would probably have to be the last final, taking all the glory of everyone else's first half hard work. That was quite good after not making a save in the full game to get all the credits for it afterwards. That was quite nice, yeah.
There's more than one. I think I think more so the stuff I can remember more of is when they've gone to open age, because as a team we were just a football team prior to that. Didn't really win anything except some Mickey Mouse stuff on a Sunday. Never won a league, but taking the kids to Spain, convincing them they're going to be on Sky Sports when they weren't, when they stood at the back of Espanyol Stadium freezing their arse off. That was a good one. Getting into a cup final, obviously Haig's goal to win our first ever cup final against a team that we shouldn't have beaten, and then obviously going all the way through that and finishing off last game ever with dreams are made of, penalty saves, shootout, you name it, you know. So I think there were a few, but I think if you had to come down to it, I think the trip to Prague was a belter. for lots of different reasons that didn't include brothels as far as I was aware, so I think that was a good one.
Worst memory of the club? Possibly the game where we got beat by a Billings team that consisted of Dan Haig, Jay Parkin and Liam Ruffley, all of which I hated at the time.
Any of the semi-finals that we lost last year when we should never have lost them, they were both on penalties obviously, so I can kind of take half the blame for that one. But I think the most disappointing I felt was the last game of the season where if we'd have won, we won the league, and we just completely capitulated, and that was a bit of a hard one to take.
Playing in -10 in Prague is definitely up there. Fucking hell. Getting headbutted in my first open age game wasn't particularly great. Might getting pissed when we lose and not speaking to me the whole car journey home again. A lot of neglect.
From a footballing point of view, I would say last year when we should have won 2 cup finals and lost on penalties in both semi-finals, and then losing the last match of the season, when if we'd have won, we'd have actually won our first ever league, and the guys have played really, really well all the way through the year, and the commitment was amazing. You know, I think that was probably the worst. It should have stopped then, in effect, because this year's been a bit carnage up until the football cup final, really. But last year was probably the one.
As a club, our performance has gone from being absolutely terrible to then we suddenly became absolutely unreal, and then decided at the end that we'd just come full circle and go absolutely terrible again. -1 performance in a cup final where we decided that we'd play like Brazil. And that's pretty much, to summarise Town Green, we turned up when we needed to.
I think the only way to like answer that is to like, I suppose like the lads who came from Billings who played against us like when we first started, and we were a bit of a laughing stock really, and we were shit. If we won 2 games a season, that was a success. And now if you look at us now, we're like, we want to win a trophy, we want to win a league, and like I think we played against New Streets, the Hers, Clay Browse, and we've either given them a good game, we've beaten them in some instances. The club has moved up. We're a good team now.
Punched above our weight, I would say, because in junior aspects, it was just a bunch of kids that wanted to play football, some ability, not a great ability, but kept going. And then from an adult age point of view, playing from age 17 against grown-ups that literally just wanted to kick lumps out of you and bully you and prove that you actually had talent, and then watching the football talent improve. You know, as much as we got a few individuals that were very, very special, I think the rest of the team stood up as well and improved and grew as well.
For me, I started off at like the underage teams, so I think we started off pretty well. We were playing in a shocking league, so we never really got a good gist of it. I remember when I was playing in those younger teams, the other younger team that went into the open age team was doing absolutely terrible, so I think we did quite well by comparison. But then obviously, since I've played for the open age team, it's just gone strength to strength. I don't think we ever really had a bad season until the one that we just had. But obviously, finishing it with a cup when you can't really ask for much more than that, so it's not too bad at all.
Our Brockstead finals have been some of the highlights for most of the players. It seems that as soon as we touch ground on the hallowed turf of Brocksteads, we decide that we are no longer a rubbish football team. We are actually decent and start to play proper football and can beat pretty much anyone. I'm pretty sure if City would have turned up at Brocksteads, we'd probably have beaten them.
Undefeated, unbeatable. For most weekends we rock up and most of us are either pissed or, in Jay's instance, can't be arsed. But then for some reason we get to Brocksteads and everyone turns up. I think obviously you've got the Jay Parkin finals, but I don't think I'm going to give him a shout out here, and I hope he buys me a drink for it as well. I don't think I've seen a first half performance like Jordan Wilson's in against Clay Brow, my word. And the fact he got cramp after 60 minutes says how good of a shift it must have been. So I'll give him credit for that. But no, I think it's probably the only time our competitive side really shows. I think besides that, we really just rock up on a Sunday and we're there to have a laugh with the lads. Obviously we want to win, but like it's just like a way to see the boys. But yeah, when we rock up to Brockstead, I say that's where the competitive side comes out really, and we show how good we can be.
I think the first and the last are the big memories, because the two in between, it was just Jay Parkin against Standish and scoring hat-trick for fun. I think the first one because it was the first ever and it was a proper stadium from that perspective, and fans, etc. And then the final one where, based on form, we were going to get battered. And the first half was probably the best football I've seen the team playing God knows how many years. And then to win it in the way we did it was just, it was just speechless really. It's a good memory to live with and to stop with as well, I think.
Brockstead's, I think, the 4 finals, I think I've played 3 of them. 2 of them 6-1 wins. The other one won on penalties. But I think Jay Parkin pretty much owns the ground at this point. I think they owe him a lot because I think everyone paying those £4 entry fees is coming to see Jay Parkin. So I mean, you got to thank him for that.
Well, on a personal level, in terms of taking penalties, I'm absolutely fantastic when it comes to a shootout. I've got a 100% record in the shootout. There are a few that have missed penalties before in shootouts. We've got a few reliable ones. Jay tends to be pretty reliable. Matty Smith's pretty reliable. I'm obviously Mr. Reliable. But then we've had quite a few misses from the likes of Tom Ashton. I'm pretty sure Jim Ashton's missed one. Luckily though, 99% of the time, our keeper Nathan manages to save us. So we've done pretty well on penalty shootouts on the whole.
But taking penalties, it's been a lottery. The good thing was, from memory, Joe Carter wasn't taking one. Against Clay Brow, bless him. We give away a few. Tom typically gives away at least 1 or 2 a season, which is fantastic news as a defender. Saving them, Nathan's been an absolute stormer, and prior to that Tom Hull was as well. But taking penalties, I mean, with the exception of Twig, who 100% confident that Sam was going to score in the cup final and missed it, and then decided that every Clay Brow was going to take the same way as well, never miss a penalty, and he missed a few. I think we've got better, and I think we held our nerve in the cup final. I'd never seen us complete as many penalties as we did. That was beyond a joke, in effect. So I think we've got better, but I'd rather we didn't have to take them.
I mean, you trust Jay and Matty 9 times out of 10 really. It still doesn't make any nerves go away when you need him to score that penalty, but no. And in penalty shootouts, and Liam Barton's going to get a special mention here as well, because he's got no idea what he's doing with it, like what he's doing when he goes up to it, but it goes in every time. He had the penalty shootout against Clay Brow as well. That was an unbelievable pen. So in terms of taking them, like, I think, look, we've lost a few, but like when you win as many as we have, you're gonna. But then on the other side of, like, not defending penalties, but on the other side of the fence, really, when it's just watching Nathan, like, I'll be honest, like, there's not many times you can really say you're confident in your goalkeeper and saving them, but like in a penalty shootout in particular, you always know Nathan's going to save one, like at least one. Even in a game, when they might only have 1 penalty in that game, you're like, well, Nate's got a chance here no matter what. So confidence, probably the only word to describe, really. Shows how good he really is.
I always say the same thing, is that if we score all 5 of our penalties, we will win. It's as simple as that, because either I'll save one or they'll miss one. And I've changed that, because I used to say I'd save one up until the semi-final that we had a couple of seasons ago, where I just didn't save any, and they took about 15 or something stupid like that. But always confident I'll save one in a shootout, but like I say, there's a couple of dodgy penalty takers over the last couple of years, but I've got 100% record at taking penalties for Town Green, so I think I'll take that and run.
With the club coming to an end, obviously it's been a little bit of a sad time, bit of a transition for us finishing. It's not been a great season overall, but I think we summarised everything absolutely brilliantly with the win at Brocksteads against the team that have ended up winning the league, showing what we were probably capable of and what we should have done this season, but at least we got the win to finish it off.
As I said, I've been here 18 years, like maybe a few years too long really when you look at it now, but like I'll be happy to get my Sunday morning Lions, Jesus. On the other hand, like, you look at what it meant to the boys after like Brocksteads against Clay Brow, and like you are gutted to a little bit. I mean, it's always better to end on a high than it is to end on a low, so I suppose we just leave it there. You just got to try and take the sentiment out of it. But yeah, mixed emotions really is probably the best way to put it. I don't know how I feel yet. I'll let you know my first Sunday Lion next year.
Obviously it's a sad day for everybody involved really, I think. And the best thing about the club was the lads that they had playing, they never had any bad lads playing. It was one of them, if they were a sack, they never lasted more than a year. And that was the best thing about Town Green. Like, they would just see out anybody who was just a dick, basically just didn't make it past the season. And that was the best thing about it. So obviously it's disappointing to see it come to an end.
I think it's the right time. Looking at everybody across the squad, they've all got lives to lead, you know, all very busy lives. And I get 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning isn't right for everybody, and it's certainly grating on me now. So I think it's the right time. It's come to an end, but by the sounds of it, there's been a lot of friendships made over those 7 to 10 years, especially from an adult point of view. And I'd like to think those friendships will continue, you know. So they are a bunch of alcoholics. They can't take the rail, but they are a bunch of alcoholics, and I think that will continue. And if they continue playing football elsewhere, fantastic.
What will I miss the most about Sundays? It's definitely not going to be getting up at 9:30 after being out until 6 o'clock on a Saturday night because Jay Parkin said that we were going for one drink. It's definitely not going to be Matty Smith turning up when he's still drunk in the car, even though now I can actually drive myself, which has been pretty good timing in terms of finishing. Missing the most is probably going to be seeing at least one person turning up that still actually can't see from the night before. It's even better when it's not you.
Being one of the first there and then just watching everyone like approach the pitch like either in little groups or singly and trying to figure out which one's pissed or still wired or something like who's slept, who's not slept. I'm going to miss that on a Sunday, and then I fucking won't miss Jay Parky saying I can't be asked every Sunday morning. Fuck me. As I said before, I think it's a nice way for like, the boys just to see each other on a Sunday. Look, I'd rather it not be a Sunday morning that we get together and see each other, but if that's the case, then no, it's good.
I think I've missed most about Sundays is either Jay Parkin telling me, tell you what, Nate, you look rough, or turning up still absolutely blind drunk after driving to the game, and then still managing to look somewhat acceptable in the team that we had.
The excuses for not turning up to a football match, or lack of excuses, but just don't turn up for football matches. You know, having videos of Liam climbing on a roof to try and get Nathan out of a bedroom. People phoning up pissed saying that they'll be there in half an hour and really don't drive because that's not right to do. People forgetting that they've got a football match. But I think just the fun. I think we've never taken ourselves too seriously, which I think has always been a benefit. And the right mix of individuals that have made the team, they are what they are now, which is actually quite a talented football team. And based on how they can perform, they could do a lot more. But you know, I think it's the friendships, the fun we've had with regards to the tours we've done, Prague, Spain before that.
The referees in the South Counties Football League have been diabolical, in all fairness. To say that Dave Bradshaw has probably been one of the better referees just kind of signifies just how bad the standard is. We've had some shockers over the years, but at the minute it's probably about as poor as it's ever been, which coincides with just how shit we've been as well.
Well, we've all had our few words to say with referees. Me being sent off by Craig Halliwell when Jim has had his knee taken out. That little ferret of a referee sending Jay off in a friendly before the start of the season was great. Dave Bradshaw, quite an entertainer, and I really don't hope he doesn't go on Channel 4 on Naked Attraction. I really hope he doesn't. And all the other referees, we all think we can do a better job, but I think in the main we've all remained fairly respectful of the referees in comparison to others. Yeah, but they could do better.
Fucking hell. You can't give a best referee. That's how bad the referees are, really. Like, I think they're all just as bad as each other. Suppose the best not refereeing moment, but memory I've got of a ref is against, I can't remember who it was, but it was Riggers' team. Jay got sent off for booting a guy. I got sent off for dissent, and then as I walked off I got called a spastic by Miko. Anyway, we got fucking New Street next week and me and Jay just sat there still pissed sent off. So got us out of one, but in terms of referees, they're fucking awful. Just ask Ig, he likes to moan about them.
The less said about the referees in the league, the better. I think there's a couple who don't get on with Mike very well over the years, a bit disgruntled by his whining and whinging, in Dave Bradshaw's words. But yeah, I think you're never going to get decent refs at Sunday. They can't even get them in the Premier League, but I mean, you'd expect people to at least know the rules by like when they've been reffing for so many years, or at least in the 60s, half of them. So you'd expect them to know the rules a little bit better than they do.
It's a nightmare. It was a nightmare when there were 6 and you had to text everybody to see if they were still available for the Sunday. It's been a nightmare still doing that, nearly 20 years on. You never know who's turning up, so as much as you think you've got an idea of who's going to be playing where, it's never the case. Example being this year when we turned up to Rylands and Nathan announced in the car park that he couldn't play in goal 10 minutes before the match. Thanks to Liam to go in goal, did an absolute stormer of a job. We've had umpteen goalkeepers have to go in because of injuries. We've had people missing. You've had to play me, which is ridiculous.
I've missed everyone, though.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's not been caught on camera because it wasn't fun. And then, yeah, making substitutions because people are saying they're not fit when they're actually pissed. Coffer's prime example at Rylands this year. JC's warm-up have taken at least 1 fag, if not 2 fags, before he starts the match. Jay hating every minute playing on a football pitch, but turning up week in, week out, and just hardly missed a game, I think, since he started. Haig's complaining against referees and never shutting up about it for half an hour after the event. Liam with his dodgy dives for fouls, which have been quite good at times. And then watching some of the good football. It's been good, it's been a special time. Really enjoyed it, he says.
Mike Ashton, there's a lot of words that I could say about Mike. Not every single one of them would be as positive as Mike would want. But on the whole, absolute legend, hero, father figure in football and pretty much everywhere else as well, because I don't really speak to my dad, do I?
Well, it's a shit show really, isn't it? Like, I know he's there, I'll tell him to his face, to be fair, he is a shit show. The general responsibilities of a manager, I've never heard someone complain so much about them. Like having to organise the team, having to organise the subs. It's your job. Got the tactical nous of the dog sitting next to me. But what I will say is, fucking hell, I wouldn't have put up with us for 18 years. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe there's something not right there. But if, on the other hand, like, yeah, it takes some commitment and dedication to put up with us for 18 years. I think he's only known Wilson for 4 or 5, and I think that's enough. So no, give him his due. He's managed to win us 4 trophies without knowing a single thing of what's going on, without organising a single training session properly, besides defending corners. So yeah, give him his due. We've won some silverware, so yeah, job well done.
Like I say, I think over the last 13 years I've seen more of Mike than I have of my own dad. I definitely have, but it's just one of these. He's a father figure in football, father figure outside it. He's just a club legend, hero of the game.